You're in the bathroom. The door isn't even closed, and you already hear it. Nails clicking down the hallway. That wet nose pushing through the gap. Eyes locked on you like you've been gone for hours. You've laughed about it. Maybe rolled your eyes. But your dog isn't being weird. Behind that behaviour is a bond so deep that scientists compare it to a parent and their child. And if you ignore the signs, especially the last one, you could miss something that really matters. Let's start with the one thing almost every dog owner gets wrong. 1. It was never about being clingy. You get up from the couch. Your dog gets up from the couch. You walk to the kitchen. They walk to the kitchen. You head to the bathroom, and before you even reach the door, they're already there. Most people see this and think their dog is just needy, maybe a little too attached, maybe even spoiled. They figure their dog just can't entertain themselves, that they'd follow anyone who fed them, that it's just a breed thing or a boredom thing. But here's the thing. Researchers in Budapest actually tested whether dogs form the same kind of emotional bond with their owners that human babies form with their mothers. They used a version of the exact same test psychologists use on toddlers, and the results were almost identical. Dogs searched for their owner when they left the room. They played less with strangers. They showed clear relief when their person came back. A follow-up study classified the attachment styles of 59 dogs. About 60% were securely attached. The rest were insecurely attached. Those numbers almost perfectly match what researchers find in human toddlers. So when your dog follows you to the bathroom, their brain is running the same attachment program that keeps a 2-year-old within arm's reach of their parent. You are their safe place. And walking away from you, even for a minute, triggers something they can't just switch off. If your dog could put it into words, it would be something like, "Wherever you go, I need to be there. Not because I'm scared, because you're mine." But being your dog's safe place is only half the story, because what happens inside their brain when you disappear behind that door is even more revealing. 2. Your presence literally changes how their brain works. A lot of people think their dog follows them around out of habit, like it's just something dogs do and there's no real thought behind it. But researchers in Vienna tested something that proved otherwise. They gave dogs a problem-solving task, a little puzzle with a treat locked inside. When the dog's owner was in the room, the dog worked harder at solving it. When a stranger was there instead, the dog barely tried. And when the dog was completely alone, they mostly just gave up. The owner didn't help, didn't encourage, didn't say a word. They were just sitting on a chair across the room, not even looking at the dog. And that alone was enough to make the dog brave enough to keep trying. Behaviorists call this the secure base effect. Your dog literally thinks more clearly, works harder, and stays calmer just because you exist nearby. Now think about what the bathroom represents. It's the one spot in your house where you consistently vanish behind a closed door. From your dog's point of view, the one thing that keeps their entire nervous system steady just disappeared. So yeah, they follow, not out of habit, because without you in the room, the world feels less safe. Think about who in your own life makes you feel that way just by being around. That's a short list. And for your dog, you are that entire list. And hey, if this is making you see your dog a little differently right now, hit that subscribe button. We talk about what your dog is really thinking every single week. Now, your dog following you is one thing, but what some of them do once they get to that bathroom is something most owners completely miss. 3. They think they're protecting you. When you sit down in the bathroom, you're in a pretty vulnerable position. You're distracted. You're stationary. You're not watching the door. Most people figure their dog follows them in there, hoping for attention, maybe a belly rub, maybe a treat. Your dog doesn't see it that way. They read body language better than you read words. Researchers at the University of Lincoln found that dogs can match human facial expressions to the emotions behind them. Happy face, happy voice. They connect the two. They read your posture, your breathing, your tension levels. And when you're in the bathroom with your guard completely down, they pick up on that instantly. Watch where your dog positions themselves next time. Some sit outside the door facing the hallway. Others wedge themselves right between your feet. A few just stare directly at you the entire time, like they're running security for someone they don't fully trust to protect themselves. Every position is strategic. They've given themselves a job. Will your 20-pound beagle actually stop a home invader? Probably not, but something deep in their wiring says, this human is mine to watch over, and they show up for that shift every single time. But protecting you from outside threats is one thing. What your dog senses coming from inside you is something else entirely. 4. What they do about your stress will break your heart. If you've been watching this channel, you already know your dog can smell when you're stressed. We've covered that before. But here's what we haven't talked about. It's not the detection that matters. It's what your dog does next, and what it costs them. Researchers set up an experiment where dog owners were placed behind a closed door. Some owners hummed quietly. Others pretended to cry. The dogs who heard their owner crying opened that door 3 times faster than the dogs who heard humming. And here's the part that really got me. The dogs who couldn't figure out how to open the door weren't calm about it. They showed higher stress levels than any other group. They weren't giving up. They were panicking because they could hear their person in distress and couldn't get to them. Now think about that in the context of the bathroom. You're behind a closed door. Your dog can hear you. They can smell you even stronger in that small space. And if anything feels off with you, every instinct they have is screaming at them to get closer. But it goes even deeper than that moment. A 2019 study measured cortisol in dogs and their owners over several months. Not minutes, months. And what they found was that the dog's stress hormones rose and fell in sync with their owners across the entire period. If you were going through a hard stretch at work, your dog's body registered that same tension week after week, even when you thought you were hiding it. Your dog's body doesn't know the difference between your stress and theirs. To their nervous system, it's the same weight. So when your dog follows you into the bathroom on a rough day, they're not being random. They felt something shift in you, maybe before you even noticed it yourself. And they came to be close because proximity is the only tool they have. If they had the words, it would be something like, I don't know what's wrong, but I'm not leaving you alone with it. 5. They've rewritten their entire day around yours. If you ask most dog owners why their dog follows them to the bathroom, they'd say, because dogs just follow people. Like it's automatic, no thought behind it. But here's what's actually happening. Researchers found that animals have specialized timing cells in their brain that fire in patterns linked to expected events. Your dog hasn't just learned your schedule, they've mapped it. Wake up, bathroom, kitchen, coffee, food bowl. That entire sequence is burned into their memory, and their body starts preparing for each step before it happens. But think about what that really means. Dogs are naturally denning animals. Their instincts are built around territory, around scanning their environment, staying alert. Your dog's ancestors spent their mornings scanning open fields for movement. Your dog spends theirs listening for your feet to hit the floor. They've taken all of that ancient wiring and overridden it. Instead of orienting their entire day around the house, the yard, the sounds outside, they've oriented it around you, one human, walking through a hallway. Out of every room, every corner, every spot they could be focused on, your dog's entire internal clock is calibrated to the sound of your footsteps. They know where you'll be before you get there. They're already waiting. That's not habit. That's a brain that has reorganized itself around the person it loves most. And that's why this last one matters so much. Because when a dog who has mapped their whole world around you suddenly pulls away, something has changed. 6. When they suddenly stop, listen closely. This is what I mentioned at the very beginning, and it's the part every dog owner needs to hear. If your dog has been following you to the bathroom for months or even years, and that suddenly changes, do not brush it off. Dogs are creatures of deep habit. When they break a pattern this consistent, they're telling you something important. Sometimes the reason is physical, joint pain, stomach trouble, something happening inside their body that they can't show you any other way. Veterinary research shows that one of the earliest signs of cognitive decline in older dogs is a change in how they interact with their owner. Less following, less seeking out contact, less being in the same room. Other times it's environmental, a new pet, a big move, a shift in your schedule that made them feel less secure. And sometimes it's pain they've been quietly hiding, because that is exactly what dogs do. They hide it until they can't anymore. The dog that followed you to the bathroom every single day chose you. Over and over and over, they chose you. If that changes, they're not being moody. They're communicating the only way they can. So watch, listen, and if something feels different, a vet visit is more than worth it. Catching things early makes all the difference. So the next time you're heading to the bathroom and you hear those little footsteps behind you, stop for a second. That bathroom trip was never a small thing to your dog. Every single time they followed you, they were choosing you. And they'll keep choosing you. Every room, every hallway, every closed door, for as long as they're here. You are their everything.